Welcome to Sisters in Ministry. I am Pastor T, and I'm with my sister, Minister D. I know we have been off the air for a couple of weeks, but along with doing ministry and sharing this podcast with you all, we also have to do the ministry that we do on a day-to-day basis, along with all the other areas of our lives that we have to do in our bivocational positions as well. Do you want to say hello to a Minister D?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm glad to be back with you all. Like she said, we've been busy doing ministry, and just happy to be here today to share with you,
Hey man,
Minister
I'm just
T.
I'm just so excited. It's been like it's been weeks and weeks. I said, my goodness, we get to talk to each other on and off through the week, but still with us coming to share with you, it seems like it's been a very long time. On today's show, we're gonna just talk about really plain talk about partnering together doing ministry. She and I as sisters, as well as celebrating the joy of being able to do ministry together and the ministry that we individually do along with our life, because I don't want you to get the idea that we only do ministry. We're moms, grandmas, we're wives,
Mm-hmm.
we're all those things as well as our jobs. So you want to say a little bit about that,
Right.
Minister D? About the other things?
Well, yes. Yes, we have a lot of other things that go on, and a lot of times we are going to pick up grandkids and
Mhm.
do the grandma thing. That's a lot of
Yeah.
days. I can call Pastor T, and she said, "I'm on my way to get my grandson, or I'm on my
Yeah.
way to go get that little sassy granddaughter." So
Yeah.
it's a lot to it, and then we have to
Yeah.
have home responsibilities, and like she said, our
Mhm.
jobs.
Yeah,
Yes.
our jobs. And then here's the thing that a lot of people, Minister D, would be surprised to learn about us. We are very traditional, wives and grandmothers and mothers. And so we do
Mm-hmm.
all of the things. We're cooking, we're straightening up and cleaning.
Yes.
We're being attentive to
Yes.
the grandchildren and help our children, all those kind of things,
Right.
along with uh, our jobs and doing ministry. So it can get to be quite demanding, but it's very rewarding. I know that I
Yes.
enjoyed a lot being able not only to serve God, but to, be loving to my husband and be loving to my kids and grandkids as well. I'm sure you feel the same, Minister D. It's such a joy and a
Oh,
blessing.
yes.
It's a blessing that God allows
Yes.
us to do that. So on today, we're just gonna just delve right into this. We've been talking just a little bit, and I have to
Mm-hmm.
tell you, when you do ministry together as a family, what it does is it strengthens the family relationship, as well
Yes.
as it teaches you how to work with others. Just because we're siblings, it doesn't mean that we're not going to disagree. It does not mean that we'll have
Right.
those moments when we're like, okay, I'm going to do this thing
Right.
along with doing with what I'm doing with you. And so we have to just kind of be flexible and do that. What about you, Minister D?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? That we have to just remain very
Yes. Yes. You have to remain committed and focused on whatever you decide to do in the ministry anyway. But you have to make sure that you have that connection that you need, and that's far and foremost, like she said, that's that open communication with each other, because everybody's human, and we don't
Mhm.
forget that part. As sisters in ministry, we still remember that we are human, and we both have a point of view, and we have our own lives, sister.
Yes, because there's a lot of times my plate and my sister's
Mhm.
plate, it can be just overpacked with things, and we're still trying to fit things in. And I'll, text and say, hey, I'm running late, and I still have to get home and get myself together to hop on. Those kind of things. We allow leeway for life and
Mhm.
living because it's so
Right.
important that you have a healthy balance of life and living as well, because those that are not doing ministry full time, which a lot of times is the rest of your family, you have to be
Right.
open and available to them. Can you just talk a little bit, Minister D, about, just the craziness of trying to juggle it all? I was thinking about that today. It was just like, oh my goodness, I got to get home. I got to get the grandson.
Right.
Got to get home. I got to get this stuff done for church tomorrow. It was like, how am I going to do all of this?
Right. And it's funny you should say that, because I had promised two of my grandboys, I told them that, if they did well in school this week, that they would get their ice cream. So in between time, while you were doing that, I was trying to run right quick and do that. So when, I would keep my word, that I gave to them. So it's things like that keep you moving, and fitting everything in sometimes is difficult, but we get it in. And I'm committed, and I know my sister is committed to keeping our obligations to God first. So we juggle it and we get it in.
We'll get it in. I just had someone to send us a comment and ask if I could please put it on our mother's page. And so I'm going to go over. They'll still be able to see my face. I just won't be able to see your face, and I'll continue to talk as I add it to our mother's page on Facebook. Listen here, I have to let you know that there is so many things that we are doing, as my sister said, as we're striving to still meet those obligations, because we have to meet those too, because our family is counting on us for us to be open and available for them as well, not just for the things that we are doing for others. We have to say, hey, this is important. I promised ice cream, so I'm going to have to make this ice cream happen for my grandson. I'm going to have to make it happen. The dinner that I said, we're going to do that special dinner. Pastor Troy and I were getting ready for our anniversary this week. And I'm like, oh Lord, okay, I've got to do that, Jesus. Plus I have to make sure the ministry things, that I have those things ready as well in advance, because some things, they are important and you have to give them the priority and the importance that they deserve. And so in doing that, I have to tell you, though, it can just be like juggle to get it in. And so it's a joy when you do a ministry with your sister, because this is my baby sister, my real sister. It gives me the leeway in the room, and she grants, say, hey, I understand that this is going on. You have this coming up, and why don't we just do this, or why don't we just do that? That way we're not missing out on things that are important in our life. Minister D, I was thinking about some challenges that, we may face, other than our family, other than all the things that we do. What are some challenges, especially with school starting back for you, have you had to just face during this time?
I've had to, I think you and I had planned to do something, and I was in a professional development training, and I had, you plan sometime to, I do this for so long, then I'll come over here and do that. And I think when you text me or something, I was telling you I was still in training, and but we were trying to, in that moment, still figure out how we were going to get our ministry across to everyone. So it's times like that are really challenging, because you have to communicate that, even though you have other things going on. So those are the type of issues that I have had. But no matter what, we still manage to communicate, and we do team building and different things to try to already know how we're going to face these obstacles as they come. So I just basically take a deep breath, and I grab my phone, because the world is about having your phones, and you have to be ready, set, go. So that's what I do when I face those challenges. And luckily, my sister adjusts, but she's really more busy than I am. So I'm amazed to see that she's able to adjust her schedule and obligations, because she's actually obligated to doing things that are that people have asked her to do, and she's committed to those obligations. So those are some of the things. But I those the work and things like that are the most challenging things for me. And at the end of the day, I still make sure home is okay. I never leave my home out of the equation. Ladies, it's very important that you take that
Mhm.
time for your home if you want your home to stay in order in the way it should be.
Say
Okay.
that again. It's so
Yes.
very important. Home is first. And a lot of times, I have found, I'm so glad you said that, being a woman pastor, because it can get so busy in ministry, you doing ministry, me doing our jobs, us doing the commitments. A lot of times, a home will appear to take the back seat. And I said, God, I want to serve you and I want to serve you effectively, but I always want to keep my husband and my home in that forefront, because if you keep things in order, God, family, then all that other stuff that you're doing,
Mhm.
it will go well. If you start out right, it'll end right. And
Right.
it's very important that your family knows, that your spouses, that they know that they are important to you and that they matter, and you put
Right.
them as a priority. So I agree with
Absolutely.
you. I think that's something our mother made sure that we understood.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
she
She
made
did.
sure that we understood as
Mhm.
as wives that it's important that we put our husband and our families first in some
Mhm.
things, rather than jumping out there doing everything. You can't be, oh, thank you, Lord. You can't be all things. Hear me today, to all
Right.
people and be effective. Minister D, I can remember some weeks ago when you said you have to learn to say no.
Yes. Yes.
I think
First
that's
and
one of the
foremost.
hardest things. I mean,
Yes.
what do you do when you just? I think you're a little bit more effective at the no than me, because I'll be like, oh, I probably should have said no to
Mhm.
that. That you could say no. I'm learning to say no because my schedule is filling up even more. But just explain some of that a little bit, because it's important. Is that you learn to say no.
Yes. Yes. Well, a lot of times let me just start from the beginning. A lot of times I would overcommit myself because I figured, well, I can run and do this. I can go and do that for Sister So and So. She said I just had to come and just say something for 5 minutes, but
Hmm.
that 5 minutes is actually 5 minutes that you should have been doing something else that was very important as well. So once I realized, okay, I'm not going to be able to do 4 different engagements in one day, not going to happen. And then do family, because I'm very big on the weekend family time, because I work all during the
Hmm.
week. And it was just like one thing after the other. When people get that yes, they ask,
Hmm.
yes, I want to come to everything that I'm asked to come to. But I realized when I was tired that Monday morning and didn't have everything done that I needed to have done for my job and things like that,
Hmm.
I realized I got to say no. And then when you have a good spouse at home, they will talk you through it and they let you know, I know you
Hmm.
want to do these things, but it's okay to say no to some of the things that you want to do for people, because our family is a family that genuinely love people, and whatever we can help people do, we
Hmm.
sincerely try to help them do it, and we're very sincere about it. It's no joking for us. It's a big thing. So I just had to learn to say no, no matter how I felt about it. A lot of
Hmm.
things I prayed about, but I still was able to come and say no. It's okay
Amen.
to say no. Yes.
Listen, you're just touching on so many things, because I was thinking about what you just said. A lot of people, our family, we were raised genuinely to love and help
Yes.
others. And this is what I run into a lot of times when we're offering help to others, or we just come in and help, they assume that you want something, or what are you up to? And you're thinking to yourself, we're serving Jesus. I just want to help. I just want to be a blessing. I know how to do this. We were kind of taught that things that we can naturally do, they're our reasonable service. So we will reasonably do them for you because we feel that's a part of who we are. So we don't waste a lot of time with reasoning, are you going to do this for me? And this is why I did it. No, we're doing it because we genuinely love Jesus, genuinely love people, and genuinely like to see things, especially things for God, be a success.
Yes.
And people don't understand that. So many, you can't even imagine how many times people say, well, why would you do that? Well, because I wanted to go over well. I love the Lord. God wants things done in excellence. I know how to do it. That's my reasonable service. So I'm just helping you.
Right.
Have you experienced that, Minister D?
Yes, I have. It was kind of funny because, a lot of times people think that, you're coming in, you're trying to take over. Well, first, I'm not doing anything unless I'm asked to. I never assume it's okay to just do whatever. And we try to do whatever we can. And then one day it came across where it was an emergency that somebody didn't show up. And, I was sitting there and I was asked to get up and perform in that moment what the person asked me to do. Of course, I did it to the best of my ability, and that it changed something about them. They say in that moment, I saw that you truly love God. And she told me, she said, I wouldn't have done it. She said, the way I have been, I would not have done it. And I said, well, I cannot sit and sleep well at night if I would have told you no, because my ministry and the way I love God won't let me sit there. So I've run into that a couple of times, but I've learned that it's okay. It's okay. I just help whenever they need me. I just fill in and do what I need to do, and as well as I know that you do, because it's a lot of things that you do that I probably would just probably would not do, not because I don't want to. It just it's amazing how you keep your schedule and you're doing these things. So
well, I gotta tell you, sister girl, today it's funny you said the schedule. I said to Pastor Troy, I said, now we got to get my schedule just a little bit more tight. I said, there are some things I feel that fell through the crack. And I said, we need to make sure that I'm sticking to that schedule. I have like a huge calendar on the wall that's for the ministry part. And I have another one that's for the family. And I have learned over the years that if I stick to the schedule and I don't allow others or things that are in my control to get me off track, I can be successful that week. But what I have realized is that I've added other things. And so in adding those other things, I need to revisit my schedule. This is something you need to frequently do, at least once every 3 months. Revisit your schedule and say, hey, what are some yes things? What are some no things? What are some things that I can do? How can I just readjust my schedule so that everything flows? Because what I found for me, as long as I don't feel stressed out about it or overwhelmed, then I can be effective. But if I get overwhelmed about it, you can forget it. The whole schedule for that day will be out of whack. And I'll spend time the next day trying to do that day plus the next day. So I just have to tell you, the schedule thing for me and for a lot of people, and for my sister, I know, to be effective in ministry, you have to plan things. You can't wing it. It's not a wing it kind of thing, and you be effective for Christ. You just can't do it. Will you run late sometimes? Yes, you will. Will you miss some deadlines of things? Well, we're human. Yes, we will. But for the most part, and I'm talking like 98%, we should be on task. And we should be
Yes.
on task because we planned it that way. What do you think, Minister D?
Yes, I think that you should always plan to be on task. Like she says, some things gonna come up sometime that throw us off schedule, and we have to regroup in that moment. But for the most part, I think that everything should be done decent and in order. So your schedule is a major part of how your day is gonna go, especially when you're doing ministry. When you're doing ministry and trying to do everything else you need to do, that schedule is one of the main things that you need to have in place.
I agree
Yes.
with you wholeheartedly. You are so right. You heard both of us say the same thing, that it's important that you have a schedule, that you maintain it, that you stay committed, because as you stated, Minister D, is so important to do everything decent and in order. We were raised that way, people. A lot of the things you hear, I know sometimes you say, oh, they just, church of Jesus. Yes, we were raised that way, that you did
Yes.
things according to the way that the Lord would require for you to do.
Yes.
And that's how we live our lives. When we do ministry with others, when we're talking with others, in our relationship with others,
Mhm.
we still try to maintain this same thing, that we do it decent and in order. Let me just see
Yes.
here. I'm looking at our list of things that we have here, and I tell you, it says the next thing that we're supposed to be talking about is sustaining enthusiasm and commitment and making the ministry experience exciting, if I can read here, and more fulfilling for those that we do ministry with. We try to show Thanksgiving to those that help us, and to those that are watching and listening to us. We talk about things like grace. We talk about things about giving of ourselves. And we do that, a lot of give and take between each other as sisters, not just as us coming on here talking to you about ministry, because we're
Yes.
ministers, no, of the gospel. We're talking about in life as well. We show
Yes.
grace, try to maintain the joy and enthusiasm as a family, as the Meriwether
Mhm.
family,
Yes.
Johnson and Miller family, Gibson, the family, Miller family, as we are trying to grow in the things that we do with our children. And
Right.
it can get to be a lot, trying to show all of that gratitude, to give all of that
Yes.
thanksgiving and all of that with
Yes.
each other. I mean, because for some of you all, we know we have two brothers as well. It's not just D and I. It's me and Tim and John and D. D's the
Right.
baby. So she has babyitis. That's what we all say when we're talking, because we talk all to each other, but then we talk apart too. And so D is the baby. And so we
Yes.
know that, because my dad and my mom, they reminded us, your sister, she's a baby sister, and you guys are supposed to make sure that you always look out for your baby sister. So we grew up with that thought of, hey, she's a baby. We have to make sure that she's okay. Same thing with our baby brother, Tim. My parents were very big on, you're the oldest, those
Right.
kind of things. There's responsibilities that come with that. And I think we should train our
Mhm.
children that way. We try to, within our families, to remind our children and grandchildren that you're the older one. There's more required of you. And it is. It takes the older ones, the middle one, everyone working to get stuff done, but also to be mindful, because even though I'm at one place, she's at another place, I'm still older than what she is by a few years. I won't say how many years, but by some years. And so there are some experiences that I have already encountered that she hasn't encountered yet. That's in life and personal things, being a woman thing,
Yes.
all those kind of things. You go through different
Right.
seasons in life. Oh,
Mhm.
come on, ladies that are watching, you know that I'm telling the truth. And so it's good to
Yes.
be able to encourage your sister to talk about things
Uh-huh.
that she may not have experienced yet, that I am experiencing and have experienced.
Right.
Will help with the process for her. Stop getting caught up in stuff about this sister,
Yeah.
that brother. I just wanted to squash it today about folks that are looking
Right.
in. Y'all all the same family. If it happens to
Yes.
them, it's happening to you. They're not
Yes.
just saying
Yes.
that it's one Meriwether. They're saying it's all the Meriwethers. One happened to one, it's happening to the other because your
Right.
brothers and sisters, or you just brothers, or you just sisters, because some don't have brothers and sisters. They're just sisters or just
Right.
brothers. But when it happens to one, it happens to all of you. You're
Mm-hmm.
the same
Right.
family. And
Right.
I just thank God that
That's
we've
right.
been able as sisters to just, work through any kind of thing. So, how important to you, I'm looking at these notes as I'm talking, how important to you is
Mm-hmm.
it that as a sister, I'm talking to you as a sister, that I encourage you? How does that affect you? Because it's talk about your experiences about being encouraged from the sister to the other sister. So encouragement, what does that do for you as a sister? My sister,
Um,
that
it
makes
it
you
does a
beautiful.
it does a lot, because a lot of times when the encouragement comes in, is what I need in that moment. So it means a really lot. It means a really lot for your sister to be able to encourage you, knowing that, okay, well, she don't sound quite right today. Let me
Mm-hmm.
say, you have to choose your words to say to people, and you have to be a listener, because sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
even though things are going on, it's not going to be
Mm-hmm.
those times where everybody just want to share. It's times when things bother me that I don't want to just call her. I feel like, well, I don't want to bother her with that. But it seemed that we're always able to pick up that, okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, something must be going on. And in that moment, an encouraging word or sharing something that will be uplifting is very
Mm-hmm.
important. And we have to remember that whoever we are in ministry with, or just whoever we're around, because I always say your job is a ministry as well. Always speak encouraging
Mm-hmm.
things, say things that are uplifting, and keep people
Mm-hmm.
encouraged, because that might be the thing that saves somebody's life or keep them going
Mm-hmm.
for another day. So, and
I
I
agree
guess
with
I would
you.
have to ask the same question for you, sister. Uh,
Well, yes, a lot of times because the thing is, people see just a certain part of whatever you allow them to see. But by you being
mhm,
my sister, you're able to see all the areas of me, and then you'll, text and say, "Hey, I haven't talked to you. Everything going good? What's going on? I'm gonna call you, or I'll talk to you on the phone, and you say, is everything okay? Or you did a good job on that." That's encouraging to hear because a lot of times people assume because you're doing things and you're
right,
working that you may not need encouragement. You don't have a sad day, or you may not go through something. Well, guess what? We go through the same things in life,
right,
experience the same
mhm,
things, as we're still
right,
trying to do this ministry before you that shows that, hey, we're happy, joyous, walking in Jesus, full of grace. Hallelujah. And we may be going through something else. And your
right,
sister, for me, your sister can see, in spite
mhm,
of you doing all of this, hey, what's really going on? What are you
right,
okay? Whatever, this and that. I can tell you, it was one day that I was like feeling just really sad, thinking about my parents and missing them and those kind of
mhm,
things. And out of the blue, because usually she can't call in the middle of the day because she's doing school stuff. She's at school. She's a school teacher. And she called. She said,
mhm,
"Hey, you were on my mind, just checking to see." And that kind of changed the whole trajectory of my day because I had began to go down, woe is me, crazy street, and I had gotten off task and all those things because I was focused on and thinking about our parents and how I miss them. And it doesn't take much. I'm
mhm,
like the nostalgic, sentimental one, I think, out of the group where I just, oh Lord. And so that day it was really important because I needed to stay focused. I didn't need to get off track, and I didn't need to feel like, oh my goodness, I miss you, mom, I miss you, dad, because I can really go there, people. You just can't even imagine. Oh Lord. And she called and said, hey, are you okay? You've been on my mind the whole day. And so she called me, and that made a major difference. We have to encourage each other. Love is, our dad would say, you know that as love does. Don't tell me you love me and I don't hear from you. You want to encourage
Right,
me. You never
right.
got nothing positive to say to me. Speak life to me. It's enough
Yes.
things in life that will get you
Mhm.
down. That's speaking discouragement. Remember now, the devil comes in to kill, steal, and destroy.
Yes, he
Kill
does.
me to wipe you out, to totally demolish whatever it
Right.
is. And so as a lady today that was preaching, she said, and the adversary, so he's the adversary, and when he comes in, he's coming to
Yeah.
destroy things. But as
Right.
we encourage each other, even in ministry, as sisters, real sisters, my baby sister, I'm the older sister, and we're doing ministry, that makes a major difference in your day, how you see yourself, how you see the things that you are doing, because this person really knows you. It ain't no woulda, coulda, make believe. No, they know you.
Yes, 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 and it's so
Yes.
important to for us to stay focused and keep things together, help each other keep things together
Mhm.
because those times is when you need somebody to call, when you need a text or something to come through that's uplifting. It's just it's very important that you have those kind of relationship with the people that are close to you.
I agree with you, and I think, sister, that one of the things as we're preparing to close here is that
Mhm.
by us collectively doing it together, even through challenges, through life things. Because remember, because we are sister, you
Right.
sisters, usually when something happens in one of our lives that's life changing, or that's a challenging moment, or that could be
Mhm.
seen as a catastrophe, or one of those oh my Lord kind of moments, we're
Right.
experiencing them at the same time together because this is my real sister. And so it's
Right.
so important that we are there together during those challenges, during happy times, all those times for each other. And what it does is for me, it enhances our personal interaction. It helps with for me, the view of the world, because I know if
Right.
there's nobody else that's going to be happy for me, my sister's going to be happy
Right.
for me. I can get that
Mm-hmm.
little, joy, a happy, woo, excited moment with my
Right.
sister that I may not get to experience, because sometimes the world can make you feel like they're not for the things that happen in your life. And so it's so important, not just for us as sisters, but us as women in ministry, doing the work of the Lord, talking to those and families that are doing
Right.
ministry, that
Right.
we remember when we go through challenges and
Mhm.
situations together, that it makes us stronger, and it makes the
Yes.
bond of us just coming together. And it's
Right.
effective. Is there anything you want to share, Minister D, before we close?
Um, I I would just say to just think on the things that we have discussed in this podcast, and just remember just to celebrate each other, encourage each other, and just remember that all the significant people in your life are important. So anything that you can encourage them on, especially in ministry, uh, do that, do that.
Yes.
And like my sister said, if your siblings, if your family, whatever your connection is in ministry, always try to recognize and keep each other uplifted and encouraged.
Mhm. Yes, and I just love this as we're closing right now. She says some important words. We need to inspire, and we need to help equip each other so that we can
Yes.
build stronger, more supportive supportive and lasting relationships with each other. Well, until next time, we're going to tell you bye. Until next
Bye.
time, we look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, you continue to be blessed of